Ethan, let's go over your draft. Your assignment was to write 3 body paragraphs from your outline. Your outline was excellent, so let's go ahead and read through here on your draft. I only found a couple of things, and they're in the second paragraph here. The Predator UAV was in the Smithsonian's top 10 aircraft magazine because it's the most combat-proven UAV in the world. And this UAV, and I know you know to do this because you did this later in the paper, it needs to be capitalized, just like you have it there, that UAV. And you need to spell it out the first time. It's okay if you want to use an acronym the second time, but I don't know what a UAV is. So you need to spell it out just like you did these other ones. Intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, and the IRS. So next time I see that, I'll know what it is. And also you had it here, Unmanned Aerial Systems, UAS. So you just need to let your reader know what this is. I don't know what it is, or I would spell it out for you. Also, when you do your paper, go ahead and use the full double space, and we're going to stick with 12 point and times. So these are the changes that I want you to make. Surveillance is spelled wrong. All you got to do is right click it and it gives you the appropriate spelling. And here over here is what you're going to be graded on. We don't have a title, but this is a draft, so when you submit this for the grading, you'll need your title here, and the title needs to be centered. 3 summaries. You have your 3 summaries present. You don't have your MLA heading, and let's just go through that real quick again. The MLA heading, it goes over to the left. You're going to put your name, your instructor's name, your class, Institute in Excellence in Writing, and the date. And today's the 20th, but you'll just put whatever date you're turning it in on. And it needs to be double spaced, same font size as your paper. So that's our MLA. Our running head, you're going to insert page number, top of the page, over to the right, and type in your last name. We want this the same font and size as our body paragraph. And then always finding where to close it is tricky for me. I think it's under design. Yeah, okay. So now that's grayed out, and that the page number will change. So you can see it has your last name and number 2 there. So that's our MLA heading and our running head. So now they're both on there. Dress ups for your body paragraph. So now you're going to go through and underline those dress ups. And if they're not in there, they may not be in your draft yet. If they're not in your draft yet, go ahead and put them in. And then, of course, your capitalization, spelling, usage, and punctuation are going to be part of your grade. So let's look at your first paragraph. Weighing around 1 pound, the Wasp Block 3 has a wingspan of 72. Numbers between 21 and 99 are hyphenated. 72 centimeters. It runs on a small electrically powered engine. So this would be a good LY. And just go ahead and put it in something like that for me. Whoops, I meant to put a parentheses. So that I'll be counting that. Go ahead and go through, and if you don't have the 5 dress-ups in there, put the 5 dress-ups in, or revise it to include all the dress-ups. It runs on a small electrically powered engine developed with a special program, equipped with a colored video camera on the side and a front infrared camera. It is not surprising that the Air Force uses this drone for surveillance. equipped with a colored video camera on the side and a front infrared camera. Right here, we really need this comma. I'm going to go ahead and put my track changings on. We need a comma there because it is not surprising that the Air Force uses this drone for surveillance. Is your sentence equipped with a colored video camera on the sides and a front infrared camera is a clause. In 2006, the Special Ops Command selected the WASP for the Battlefield Air Targeting Micro Air Vehicle. And I'm guessing, I'm almost positive, these titles need to be capitalized. Why won't it capitalize? Oh, okay. Since this is going to be an acronym, and then your little acronym is going to go after you spell it out for the first time. And since this is a specific thing that's made into an acronym, we're going to capitalize all words that go in that acronym. The downside is the endurance time that it can fly is okay. In the second paragraph here, the Predator UAV was in the Smithsonian's top 10 aircraft magazines because it's the most combat proven UAV. Again, we need this spelled out. Spell out this acronym. That's just a note for you to help you remember. And then you have this incredible drone excels in missions on intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, comma. It also specializes in targeting. You have a comma here, right here, and you have a subject, noun, verb on both sides. So let's look. You have a comma splice here. These incredible drones, so here's our subject noun, here's our verb, excels in missions, prepositional phrase, on intelligence. Okay. So here we have a prepositional phrase, another prepositional phrase, and here we have an adjective, and here we have another adjective. I think that's called a personal pronoun adjective from your Shirley English. And then here we have our subject pronoun, and we have our verb, and then we have another prepositional phrase. So we have a subject, noun, and a verb on both sides of this comma, and that creates a comma splice. The best thing to do is just to take that little comma and make it into a semicolon. Remember, a semicolon is the same thing as a period. So anytime you have two sentences and you're wanting to use that comma because they're so closely related, use that semicolon instead. And this weaponized is spelled wrong. And when you see that red underline, just right click, and it doesn't have a suggestion. But for some reason, I want it to be spelled with a Z. You know, you need to double check that because I don't know. I'm not sure about that, but do double check it, and when I grade it, we'll see. So double check the spelling. Look back in your source material for that spelling. Those were the only errors or only changes that I've seen in your paper. They're very minor, but hopefully it's a good learning tool to go through your draft. Here's what you're going to be graded on, double spaced and titled, so get that title on there. Use the full double spacing instead of the 1.15. You do have your 3 summaries, so I could go ahead and give you that. We don't have our MLA and running heads, so get that on there. Get your dress ups in body paragraph 1, 2, and 3. Right now, your capitalization all looks good. I only see one thing that I'm worried about, the spelling. So I'm going to leave that blank. I'm going to let you change that for your final. Your usage looks good. The punctuation, we did have that comma splice. And, well, your usage, let's go ahead and not do that because of spelling out your acronyms first. You had, for punctuation, you had a comma splice there. And then you started with a clause. And we need a comma to set off the clause from our actual sentence. So our actual sentence here, it's not surprising. So it's a good draft. And you can see you've already have the full credit on these two. So these are your areas to work on for your final summary. If you have questions about any of these areas, go ahead and catch me during your study hall. Otherwise, take the summary, your draft summary, and work on including all of these dress ups, MLA heading, running head. Did we put the running head? Yes, we did. In your draft and submit it, and it'll be your final draft for your body. And after we do the body paragraphs, we're going to write our introduction and conclusion. So we're still just working on these 3 body paragraphs at this point. I think that's all. That's the end of the lesson.